Morning once again, all. And we've got 5 games tonight. It's Monday. We got 11 games tomorrow because it's Tuesday. It's going to be one of those weeks again. The weird thing is that the NHL schedule, it feels like there's a lot of games left to play, but there aren't any days that have like 15 games in them until the very last day of the year. So it feels like they got to jam a bunch in, but we'll see how busy teams are between now and the end of the season, right? Washington in against Buffalo. This game starts at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. The Washington Capitals in against Buffalo is a good matchup. And it's a good matchup because Buffalo gets their goalie back tonight. I think that's one thing that's been kind of. It hasn't been talked about a ton. Buffalo fell off the map not long after Ullmark got hurt. And I think that was part of it. Now, there are other issues, of course, but Ullmark being hurt didn't help. Hutton tries his best, but Ullmark is the better goaltender. The Capitals, 41-20-7 overall. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10. On the road, they're 23-10-2. Buffalo, they're pretty good at home. They're 29-31-8 overall. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They've lost 6 in a row. They're 19-11-4 at home. November 1st, Washington destroyed Buffalo 6-1 at home. These teams meet again March 30th, again in Buffalo. So for the Capitals, if they can earn 4 points against Buffalo between here and the end of the season, it gets them that much closer to confirming themselves a playoff spot. Scoring. Ovechkin, 47 goals, 18 assists, 65 points. Do we start talking about Ovechkin with another 50-goal season now, or do we wait till he gets to 49? I think we start talking about it now because he's definitely capable of a hat trick. Kovalchuk, 10 goals, 16 assists, 26 points. He's been okay for the Caps. This is the third team he's been with this year. He's not the player he once was, but not expected to be. Dowd, who started putting up points recently, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points. And Carlson, 15 goals, 60 assists, 75 points. His scoring has slowed down over the last 20 to 30 games. That has correlated with their record not being as good as what it was, but still, they're first in the division, and it feels like I don't know. I think the biggest issue for Washington may very well have been they got off to such a good start and they had such a huge cushion atop that division. It's easy to get kind of lazy sometimes. Holtby will be starting for the Capitals as they continue to make it clear he is going to remain their starter right through until the start of the playoffs. On the Buffalo side, Wayne Simmons is a curiosity to me now because they pick him up at the deadline clearly with the intention of staying in the race or maybe pushing themselves ahead a little bit further. His 8 goals and 17 assists overall this year, not tremendous, and I do wonder, does he stay in Buffalo for less money? Is he just a pure rental? Does he go somewhere else? Is he going to end up in Vancouver? These are questions that we don't have the answer to yet. Sam Reinhart, 22 goals, 28 assists, 50 points. A lot's been made of Eichel being cold. Reinhart hasn't had a point in a bit, too. Skinner, 14 goals, 9 assists, 23 points. Skinner being put back on Eichel's line. I know it made a lot of Sabres fans happy, but Skinner just isn't having a good year this year, and I don't know that it makes a big difference. Montour, 5 goals, 13 assists, 18 points. I think he's had a decent year. He's not a superstar player, not expected to be, of course, but I think he's had a decent year. And, of course, as I mentioned, Ullmark will be their starter tonight. So we'll see how that turns out for them. Next up, Arizona in against Winnipeg. This starts at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. So for the former Jets and the current Jets, you have a meeting here where they could be deciding each other's fate. They are both below the playoff line right now. The Arizona Coyotes, 33-28-8. They need to start winning more regularly. They're 5-5 in their last 10. If they play 500 hockey for the rest of the way, it's not going to work. They're 16-16-4 on the road. Winnipeg, who've been pretty darn good lately, they're 35-28-6. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10, and at home they're 19-14-3. Some good teams are going to miss the playoffs. October 15th, Arizona won in Winnipeg 4-2. Their next meeting will be on the last night of the regular season, April 4th. That will be at Arizona. Scoring for the Arizona Coyotes, Schmaltz, 9 goals, 34 assists, 43 points. Got to get to at least double digits in goals pretty quick here. Dvorak, 18 goals, 20 assists, 38 points. He's been cold for a while. I would imagine that's got to change. Kessel, also cold for a while. 14 goals, 22 assists, 36 points for Phil. And Taylor Hall, 16 goals, 36 assists, 52 points overall between the Coyotes and the New Jersey Devils. On the Winnipeg side of things, Pionk, 6 goals, 38 assists, 44 points. Excellent season for him just all around. Cody Eakin, 4 goals, 8 assists for Eakin. That includes, of course, his time in Vegas. Eakin has fit in pretty well. The offense isn't going to be there, but that's not why Winnipeg picked him up. It does, they've evened out their 4 lines pretty well. I like what they've been doing. Ehlers, 24 goals, 30 assists, 54 points. He would need to get 10 points in the last 13 games of the year in order to reach his career high in points. I definitely think he can get there. He's had an excellent year. Line 27 goals, 34 assists, 61 points. Has been excellent for them for the most part. And Connor Hellebuck will be the goaltender for the Winnipeg Jets. So, yeah, Winnipeg and Arizona, these guys could decide each other's fates when it comes to the playoffs. Okay, Florida, St. Louis. I kind of like this one as an upset. I kind of like this one as an upset because Florida's better away from home than they are at home. This one starts at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. I also think that on the back half of a back-to-back, that makes St. Louis a little more vulnerable than it does the Panthers. But the Panthers have had their struggles. They are 34, 26, and 8 overall. They're 4, 4, and 2 in their last 10. They're 17, 12, and 4 on the road. And they've got to string some wins together if they're going to catch Toronto. On the St. Louis side of things, 41, 18, and 10. 9, 1, and 1 in their last 10. And they're 23, 6, and 5 at home. These teams haven't met yet. This is their first meeting of the year. They will meet again March 21st in Florida. Scoring side of things, Ekblad, 5 goals, 36 assists, 41 points for Florida. Connolly, who got an assist the other night, he's maybe coming out of it. 18 goals, 14 assists, 32 points. He's been cold for a bit. Barkov, who's also been cold for a while, 20 goals, 42 assists, 62 points. And Haula, 12 goals, 12 assists, 24 points. He's been a decent addition for Florida since they got him at the deadline. On the St. Louis side of things, Jaden Schwartz, 22 goals, 35 assists, 57 points. Along with Braden Shen, pretty solid combination right there. Bozak, who's been prominent lately, not getting as many points and goals as you might think when you're watching their games. 13 goals, 16 assists, 29 points. Perron, 25 goals, 35 assists, 60 points in, I believe, 69 games. Sundqvist, who was fined today, 12 goals, 11 assists, 23 points. I may talk about that in the news of the day, how everybody's just getting fined now. People are getting mad about it, but he was fined for last night. So, that's something we'll get into, but Sundqvist is a physical player. I think fines and suspensions are always going to kind of be, at the very least, probably a once-a-year occurrence with him, whether it is, again, a fine or a suspension. And that's just when you play that physical game, that's kind of what you're risking. Next up is Vegas in against the Oilers. This one starts at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, I should say. 38, 24, and 8 is the record for Vegas. 37, 24, and 8 is the record for the Oilers. This is a battle for first place. Over their last 10, Vegas is 8 and 2. Over their last 10, Edmonton's 5, 3, and 2. So if Edmonton can pick things up and string together, say, 8 wins in their next 10, they may very well win the division. On the road, Vegas is 16, 13, and 4. At home, Edmonton's 17, 10, and 5. And I've stated I think the Oilers are better on the road than at home, but right now, we'll see. We're getting into crunch time, so some of that stuff kind of falls by the wayside. November 23rd, Edmonton won in Vegas 4-2. February 26th, Vegas shut them out 3-0, again at Vegas. So they will meet again March 31st. That will also be at Edmonton. So Edmonton gets 2 chances at Vegas, both of them in Edmonton from here, starting tonight. Scoring-wise, Riley Smith, 27 goals, 26 assists, 53 points for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's had a very good year. Carlson, 15 goals, 31 assists, 46 points. Said it before, Carlson's goal scoring will likely never get back to what it was a couple years ago. It's perfectly fine. The guy's a beast out there. Marchessault, 21 goals, 24 assists, 45 points. And Nosek, 8 goals, 7 assists, 15 points. Let's see if he gets to double digits in goals quickly here too. On the Edmonton front, Archibald, who was re-signed or extended another 2 years. Very reasonable contract, 12 goals, 9 assists. Archibald is an example of how Edmonton has fixed their depth in the bottom six. Their bottom six always felt kind of tossed together, and you'd see guys out there that you were surprised were still in, or maybe you were surprised they were in the NHL at all. And right now, we don't have that problem with Edmonton. James Neal, 19 goals, 11 assists, 30 points. He had an assist in his last game. Let's see if he can get to 20 tonight in the goals department against his former team. Yamamoto, 25 games played now for Kyler. 11 goals, 13 assists, 24 points. He's been fantastic. And Connor McDavid, 33 goals, 63 assists, 96 points. I don't know if you've heard of him, but Connor McDavid turns out to be a pretty good player after all. Who knew? That ends off the first board. Let's go to the second. All right, so I'm wearing Kings. Now, Colorado is playing really, really well right now. And this meeting, I don't know. These guys have been close this year, starting with the outdoor game in Colorado, of which we will not speak. 10:30 Eastern start time for this, 7:30 Pacific. And right now, Colorado 41-19-8. They are sitting just behind their rivals in St. Louis. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10. They're playing pretty well. On the road, they're 24-10-2. Now, LA, they're 27-35-6. Over their last 10, they're 7-2-1. They've won 8 out of 11. This is a team that's won 5 in a row as well. So if you're paying attention to the Kings, you're pretty happy. If you're not, I don't blame you. They're so far down towards the bottom of the standings. But at home, they're 17-13-2. So they're pretty good at home. I'm thinking, you know what? I'll take LA in this. Sure. The Kings won, again, as I said, the outdoor game 3-1 on February 15th. 8 days later in LA, Colorado wins in a shootout 2-1. So this is a team that's given Colorado fits already twice this year. Now, Graves, 9 goals, 17 assists for Colorado on the blue line. McKinnon, 35 goals, 58 assists, 93 points for McKinnon, not 90 assists. But McKinnon looks like he's ready to hit the 100-point mark, I would say, over the next 3 games. I'll say 7 points in the next 3 games. And we'll see if he gets 7 points tonight to hit 100, and this jersey ends up being another lie. JT Compher, 10 goals, 20 assists, 30 points. Nemesnikov, 16 goals, 14 assists, 30 points. Not a bad pickup for the Colorado Avalanche. On the LA side of things, Kempe, 11 goals, 20 assists, 31 points. He was good in their last game. Dustin Brown seems to be picking it up. It feels like Brown is kind of getting that offense going. 17 goals, 18 assists, 35 points. Maybe some life left in him yet. Gabe Vilardi, 8 games played so far, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. I think he's going to be a very good rookie for them next season as well. Hasn't played enough games not to be a rookie next year. And Blake Lizotte, 6 goals, 17 assists, 23 points. We'll see if he gets to double digits in goals by the end of the season. If you don't see a goaltender up there, it's because they haven't named their goaltender yet at the time I'm recording this. So I only put the goalies on the board that have already been named. So there you go. Let me know your winners in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.